Now we are moving to the next panel discussion on the road ahead, the Tamil Nadu roles and growth amidst global changes. To start the session, I would request our moderator, Mr. Saravana Kumar, panelist for the session, Dr. M. Satya Kumar, advocate of Tycoon Legal, CA Raghavendra, partner of BNP corporate advisor, Mr. K. Prabhakar, economist, please sir. And also I would request Mr. Rajendra Avasti, founder CEO of SE.ai. Welcome all the speakers. I would request our Saravana Kumar, moderator, to start the session, sir.
Good evening to all of you. All right. So I think you all had a very engaging first part of the session. So continuing with, hopefully will be another engaging session, is the topic on the road ahead for TN amidst the entire growth challenge that is there in the geopolitical scenario, etc. Now, to put things in perspective as to what exact geopolitical situation we are in, I would all request you to just look at the neighborhood that the entire Bharat or India is in. Look at countries like Pakistan, Afghanistan. Look at countries like Bangladesh, Myanmar, so on and so forth. You name it, any country, Nepal. All these countries in this unprecedented geopolitical scenario are facing some sort of headwinds or the other. To a large extent, we can say, I think none of us will disagree with that fact, they're all struggling a little also. In that entire gloomy geopolitical situation amidst the Russia-Ukraine war, Middle East crisis, so on and so forth, and the economic situation also, we can all, I think, agree that India is an island, it's a lone bright spot. And needless to say, within India, to a large extent, Tamil Nadu is also punching above its weight in all parameters. If I can just set the context, the GDP growth rate as per the budget presented by the Union government, it is expected to grow around 6.4% nominal, real GDP growth rate. Whereas you look at Tamil Nadu, the budget what was presented, I think it would have been covered in the earlier part of the session also, around 8%, punching above its weight. The second aspect, you look at it, of course, per capita income in a large scenario, Tamil Nadu has been setting the trend above the bar. More than that, if you see, even in other parameters like inflationary trends also, even though Tamil Nadu may be not doing as great as India per se, but you should also look at from the point of view that state governments has its own limited resources also in which it can tackle this inflationary pressure. So in that sense, from a national average of around 4.9% in the recent fiscal, Tamil Nadu has a retail inflation of around 5.7%. It is not that great of a difference. Apart from that, fiscal deficit is a very important parameter. The central government also, to a large extent, the union has made it a point, a single-minded objective to rein in the fiscal deficit. And I think the union budget presented also puts it around 4.9%, just below 5%. Whereas Tamil Nadu, again, in its budget, would have seen that it has set a very high benchmark again in this parameter also at 3%. Whether it is actually fiscal deficit containment is required in this scenario or not is another question altogether. I think the esteemed panel members will address all this point. So my job is to just set the context for this. So in this context, again, needless to say, having nearly 4% of the entire land area, only 4%, Tamil Nadu accounts for nearly 10% of the GDP. Around 12% of the manufacturing, around 8% of the export. So, ladies and gentlemen, the point I'm trying to make is definitely yes, Tamil Nadu has historically punched above its weight and probably will continue to do so. But the idea today in the second part of the session, in the entire global economic scenario, what are the headwinds that are following our country and our particular state, and what is the road ahead, what are the challenges ahead, and how do we overcome them probably jointly. So with this, probably my first question is to Mr. Prabhakaran. Sir, again, in the same context, in the entire geopolitical situation, especially, I have not mentioned one particular point is with respect to Mr. Trump, right? So many barriers, both with respect to, we used to call, I think sir as an economist will be sharing much more detail on that, tariff barriers and non-tariff barriers, right? So all these barriers are coming up. amongst this Trump policy and the geopolitical scenario, how do you see the entire TN being affected, or is there a threat or an opportunity or a mix of both? And probably how to, if it is a threat, perceived threat, how do we counter it? And if it is an opportunity, I think how do we capitalize on it? So first question to you, sir.
Thank you. I think this session started with the toughest question of predicting what President Trump is going to do. President Trump is not sure. Morning he will be giving something, he is not sure. What he will be doing in the afternoon, what he will be implementing in the evening. This is what is the world over feeling. But still, whatever kind of tariff war he is going to do will definitely impact the world. And the tariff war, that is it in any way a fair kind of a war? He says that you reciprocal tariffs, how much you put tariffs on me, I will put that much amount of tariff on you. And this is unfair because being a country which is having the highest per capita income and the largest manufacturing base, approximately 28 trillions, it is if we are reducing the tariff barrier, we are going to get Tesla over to India, and Tesla cars in America are $33,000 average price. The same product you will get it from BYD from China for $13,000. Just 3 times the price. That he is trying to put forth is definitely going to affect us in short run as well as in mid run. But one thing we should also remember, if you put tariffs on India, China and other places, they will also reciprocally give the tariffs. And the inflation, what our chairman have rightly pointed out, the inflation will go up. In order to get away from inflation, he told that suddenly that if there is going to be deflation, immediately markets fell. But these kinds of things may not work in long run. The world have underwent a total change, and it cannot be only Trump world or America's world. It is going to be a different world where China, if you actually see, it has already increased its manufacturing base, and if you actually measure, it is $18 trillion. If you actually measure product to product in American dollars, it is $33 trillion. Therefore, manufacturing already China has taken over, and we will also be collaborating with various other countries, and definitely we will also be getting out of this particular kind of, but short run, we are going to face the heat. And that is going to be in Tamil Nadu because we are the largest automobile producers in manufacturers in our country, and definitely and continuously there is a pressure on Indian government, American car producers not to buy from Indian producers, which is totally not in WTO in the interest of global trade. So definitely we will see, but not to panic, but definitely be cautious about Trump's various kinds of pronouncements. This is my take, sir.
Thank you, sir. I think fair enough. So we have always had our eye on US. I think sir has rightly pointed out that there is one person above which I had not mentioned also in our neighborhood, like the dragon staring down upon us. So therefore, yeah, thank you, sir. Very, very well taken. My next question is to Rajendra Avasthi. Sir, again, continuing with what sir had mentioned, is with respect to the tariff barriers which are affecting more of a goods sort of a trade. My question to you is, Tamil Nadu and especially India is also, and our neighbors states also, have a lot of things to do with GCCs, Global Capacity Centers. A lot of policies have also been done. Do you feel that these policies, which are made in the US or in our anywhere in the geopolitical scenario for that matter, are also going to have an impact on these GCC or ITITS, which Tamil Nadu is known for? And if at all it is so, I think what should be the policy initiatives from the government's perspective, and what should be the businessmen, again, how to counteract these particular sort of headwinds that are coming from the global scenario? So over to you, sir.
So, just to add to what Mr. Prabhakar was saying about Trump before I answer your question, I think while what he described about Trump is right, what he thinks in the morning, what he says in the afternoon, what he implements in the evening is all very different. But there is a bit of opportunity if you look from the India's perspective, because the uncertainty will probably force India to get into the free trade agreement with US, which is pending for a very long time. Which kind of opens up a good window of opportunity from both manufacturing and the services perspective. So broadly speaking, if you look into the Tamil Nadu economy, it's a very service dominated economy where our GSDP is 53% is services, 36% is manufacturing, and about 13% is agriculture, right? So it's a very heavily service oriented where, GCCs play a very dominant role. We are doing a lot of software services export and stuff like that. And also the government of Tamil Nadu's policy of creating the Tamil Nadu as a hub for all the data centers, right? The policy which came about 3 years back, which is bringing in the whole entire data centers infrastructure in Tamil Nadu, which will draw the next set of it, right? So I think given the advantage which Tamil Nadu has in terms of the number of good colleges, number of graduates, engineers coming out, if you look in terms of the colleges, there are a number of universities which rank in top 10, top 100 in India, the engineering and other, graduates. Given that scenario, and I think if you have read the news recently, JP Morgan is, shifting 3,000 jobs from US to India. Many other, the larger entities are shifting their jobs, GCC to India. Given all of these parameters, I think it's a fantastic opportunity for Tamil Nadu to capture these, while the headwind is there, but all these bright spots, because all the hard work is done. So we have the policy in place for the data center. We have policy in place for a startup. We have policy in place for, we already services oriented economy where, all of that parameters are there. I think there is a fantastic opportunity is there for Tamil Nadu to press that paddle, try to grab more GCCs also in Tamil Nadu rather than going to the, Bangalore or Hyderabad. I think we do it. This combination can really usher in a lot of growth.
So thank you, sir. I think you had rightly pointed out, instead of focusing on Trump, I think we should focus on our strengths. So now I think it's over to Satya again, with respect to, again, the same concept, focusing on strengths. So Tamil Nadu, Satya, is again known for its valam, as we used to say in Tamil. So its natural resources, it's this one, so on and so forth. The concept all over India as well as the world is that of ESG, sustainability. And these policies are either mandated by, again, world bodies or from the center also. Now, do you feel that this particular sustainability as a concept or these policies being either given as a guideline or trust upon, is it going to really benefit Tamil Nadu in the long run, or is it going to be an impediment for businesses probably who may have to implement extra policies towards this aspect? Over to you.
Yeah, of course. Before we get into the sustainability question, and Tamil Nadu is known for the sustainability angle, and out of the total districts in Tamil Nadu, the industrialization is widespread, and you still see green cover and agriculture contributing to the Tamil Nadu's growth story. So the balance of industry, service, and agriculture has always been there in Tamil Nadu, and every other state should actually take Tamil Nadu as a role model. And today it is provided as a policy and things like that, but always Tamil Nadu is known for sustainable practices. If you go to Coimbatore or Namakkal, whether CSR, look at, for example, Coimbatore always has a 360-degree approach. The industrialist will run an education institution and he will also run a hospital. So it was profitable and it's run by a family. These models are something which has to be looked upon. Tamil Nadu growth story is just not about MNCs, because we only look at Sriperumbudur. I was just looking at the budget discussion. We are only talking about Sriperumbudur. Actual growth stories are because of the MSME, micro, small and medium enterprises. There are so many MSMEs here. Investing on education. There are many people who, the free Bs that we provide is not free B actually. That's what they coin. But it's our duty to give back to reduce the inequality. If you look at the World Inequality Report, India's top 1% hold about 22% of wealth. But in Tamil Nadu, if you go and check inequality report, it will, on an average from the nation perspective, it will be reduced because per capita income is more. So I think the income redistribution model is happening in our state in a wonderful way. And considering all these things, all ESG practices, one of the best practices of corporate governance. You see, many of the listed companies or even top corporates don't go for any kind of crisis from Tamil Nadu because we are conservative. And so looking at this perspective, the debt need not be seen as a burden except for the fact that the public sector undertakings are having issues. Second reflection is, once if you put on the social capital, since the child is born until he goes to the college, there are schemes to take care. Beyond that also there is a marriage scheme. If the first generation graduate, we have a incentive, cycle, laptop, everything we provided for what? It is not a freebie. The citizen has a right over it. I am a supporter of Tamil Nadu model. Because today Tamil Nadu model is brought in Karnataka, breakfast scheme, nutrition scheme. This is social capital. Social capital will improve the human capital. Human capital will bring economic capital. We are all the beneficiary of the system of Tamil Nadu. This budget amounting to 3 lakh plus crores. And the fiscal deficit, even in spite of the 9 lakh crore debt total accumulated debt we have, still we borrow in the current year. We are still having controlled fiscal deficit. And this is definitely an appreciated scenario. In education, we are not even looking at NEP as a model. We are looking beyond NEP as a model in Tamil Nadu, beyond NEP. The best of the education from the world should come to Tamil Nadu. I think Tamil Nadu budget is focused on that. 55,000 crores is the education sector allowance. But the question comes, governance reforms are needed. And first level of sustainability should come in the government sector only. Corporates are responsible. Governance has to come in the government sector, and many reforms has to happen from that perspective. I hope in the days to come, government will invoke sustainable practices, all those policies which the government is trying to bring. I think this is my first take on the issue, on the budget.
So thank you, Satya. Again, I think he highlighted the aspect that, Tamil Nadu definitely is, what are the policies that are specifically there in this budget addressing those sectors? And if at all anything is lacking, what do you think should be further done for those strong or strength sectors? Over to you.
Hi. I think one point Satya pointed out, which I liked a lot, was converting the social capital to people capital to economic capital. Right? See, the entire differential why Tamil Nadu is better than all other states is this one point. We invested heavily on people, invested heavily on technology. One reason why the entire manufacturing hub of automobiles, one of the main reasons why Tamil Nadu tried was automobile, was because we had highly skilled labor. So few areas I would beg to differ over there is that MSMEs will play a very, very huge role. MSMEs and startups will play a very, very huge role in developing Tamil Nadu as an economy. One of the biggest policy change which has come in this budget is there's a 10 crore fund for space tech startups, and there's a 20,000 rupees rebate or a give back for the gig workers. These are all policies which are framed mainly to help improve the gig economy and improve the startup and MSME ecosystem. And we've all seen how Steve Perambatoor or MEPS in Tambaram or Varagadam has contributed severely to Tamil Nadu, where 9 more SITCOs are going to be deployed with the cost of 370 crores, and 50 crores of VFX and animation studio is going to be set up. These are all policies which shows we are on the right path for growth. And I'll tell you a classic example. Today I met a startup which is focused on electronics manufacturing. They got a 2 crore funding from Startup TN. See, they are from a very normal background. 4 friends came together and started this startup. We all know electronics is severely imported from China. There is nobody else other than China for electronics. They are trying to build something strong where they are able to at least keep up or match the cost, or even if it's 5 or 10% higher than Chinese cost, we are able to build a manufacturing sector in Chennai itself. That's a huge thing where, see, they don't have any background per se. They are not able to give collateral, but Startup TN is giving them a 2 crore funding. And like sir pointed out, CGTMSE scheme is actually a very, very beneficial scheme. To explain about the scheme, where you get 20 crores of funding collateral free from all nationalized banks. That's the scheme. You don't need any collateral. With just your business projections and your background in business, you get 20 crores of collateral free loan for startups and 10 crores for big corporates. If you're an export oriented MSME, you get 20 crores. But till 2022 or 2023, these loans were very, very slim. You will not be able to get loans. Even if you approach banks, they say you show collateral, then only I'll give loan. But in the last 2 years, mainly in Tamil Nadu sector per se, I see so many big companies getting loans from CGTMSE scheme. I see this as a very good way forward, and banks are opening their hands to help these MSMEs and help these entrepreneurs. This is broadly, I would say, MSMEs and startups is going to be the core area, and if we are able to bring more focus towards MSMEs and startups, and I think Tamil Nadu can definitely hit the $1 trillion economy.
Perfect. So, Raman, thank you. Again, as what was pointed out earlier also, the idea is that of inclusive development. Apart from Startup TN, we have separate funds for SC/ST entrepreneurs, so on and so forth. So, again, I would always keep this in mind. Probably Prabhakar sir will also add on to what I was trying to say. Numbers matter. Quantity always matters, no doubt. GDP growth rate, fiscal numbers matter, but quality also matters in the long run. So I think qualitative growth is, like, in my opinion, far more important than quantitative growth. I think that is what all the policies are also targeted towards. Now my question to Prabhakaran sir is with respect to the public perception or what has been pointed out in certain sectors with respect to the public debt, sir, especially TN public debt. There's probably a concern, or certain segments of the society are again pointing out this aspect that it has probably gone up to a large extent. So my question to you is, I don't want to give my opinion on this aspect, so let me give it over to you. Do you really feel that it is that big of a burden or that big of incremental public debt has been incurred in this short tenure, in the short run? And second question is, debt definitely in a welfare economy will increase, but has it gone in the proper direction? So these are my two questions to you, sir. Is the debt concerning? And second question is, has the debt gone towards proper resources? Yeah.
Excellent. Sir, he asked a very important question. Modern monetary theory. In fact, there are two parts of the question I will ask. Is debt desirable? At the individual level, debt is, to an extent, you can't go without debt. For example, you are buying a house, definitely you need to, if your income is not in tune with, you can't front end put the 40 lakhs or 50 lakhs in order to buy a house, definitely you will take a debt. But countries taking debt is something totally different. America is having $34 trillion as its debt, which is the highest in the world. And central government is having, I think, $192 billion as the debt. Therefore, For countries, it is totally different kind of a thinking we should have. But of course, even for countries, you cannot have balanced budget. Very few countries in the world have balanced budgets. And is debt, how you are spending that debt. For example, especially in Tamil Nadu, no doubt they are spending for social schemes, and it is an investment. I think Tamil Nadu government is taking care of that particular unsustainable set of things, especially tangent with the power sector reforms. Power sector reforms are already there, and going for within another 5 years, when likely $1 trillion economy is going to be achieved, the power also they have planned very well for the 5 years. But still coming back to this debt, the public perception, there are, for example, Punjab is having 47% debt. If you take Tamil Nadu, it is 26%. Punjab, it is 47%. If you can see the calculation. Bihar, without 1,06,000 crores grant by Government of India, it will have 15% as the debt of state GSDP. While looking at the education, the per student expenditure of Tamil Nadu, what we have to see is not the total quantum, we have to see per student expenditure is 37,000 rupees per student government of Tamil Nadu is spending on each student, which is almost equal to Maharashtra. There are only 2 places in the country where they spend 37,000. Now, it is not enough you spend, you have to make people responsible that we are spending. Therefore, a 10th standard student is already, society is investing 3,70,000 rupees in absolute terms. Therefore, he has to realize that and he has to perform. What will trillion economy is possible? It is possible only if you grow by 18.4%. You can always do the calculation by using Julius. Julius AI is in another company which is a fantastic AI software which can calculate. In this, I have got the calculation. It takes 7 years for us. From now, if you grow by 18% only, you will be able to achieve that. That 18% also by most rapid industrialization, very heavy investments, and number 3, a quick growth phenomena. It took 8 years for Tamil Nadu to double from 2010 to 2008 to double its GDP. Now, with this, it has to 2.5 times it has to grow with a very heavy base, which is a very, very difficult thing, and everybody has to perform. Every minister has to perform, and uniformly every sector has to perform in order to achieve it. And for that, are you ready for it? That's where the question. It is performance, data points, 10x probably. When we were talking with Palanivel Tyagarajan, he'll be talking in this language, data points and 10x performance. And everyone, if they talk that language of performance, like what our chairman, Rajendra sir, Raghavan, and all of you talk, Satya, it is performance. And I think the budget is now talking performance. This is my take, sir.
Thank you, sir. So I think a very valid point. So again, just to, sir, I guess comprehensively covered the entire thing, given a very detailed answer. But from the small number crunching which I did, the incremental debt probably, which is the talking point in social media or other things, has broadly gone towards two things. One is towards funding the revenue deficit, and the second, that is probably a little 20% we can say of the entire this one borrowing. The second and the more important part of it is that it has gone towards capital outlays or capital expenditure. So that is an investment for the future. So I think the debt is definitely, yes, a talking point, but I would ask you to look at where it has gone towards. Probably that will give you some sort of an answer. Now my question again is to Rajendra ji. Again, I think in the last session you had a little bit of a conversation with respect to AI, but at the risk of repetition, since the stalwarts here are sitting, I think I'll probably focus a little bit more on that and ask this, probably at the risk of repetition. I'm not sure because I was just coming at the end of the session. So let me ask you again, sir. AI, especially with respect to, there are two questions which I want to ask. One with respect to Tamil Nadu as an economy or as a state is concerned. How is it going to really affect the strong points? For example, Tamil Nadu, as again is being mentioned, is the Detroit of the entire India, is being namesake is that one. So how is it going to impact this automotive industry or other strength or key areas in Tamil Nadu? That is the general question. Second is, I see a lot of young students also sitting here. Now we are talking a lot about business people and business and so on and so forth. I see a lot of young students also sitting here. So how should they probably take it? Should they take it as a, again, general, even this is for MSMEs also. Should they take it as an opportunity or a threat? Or is it something together, a blended mix of both? And how should we really navigate this, both from an economy point of view, as well as from the, we can say, macro economy point of view, as well as from the micro individual point of view? So how should we really navigate this AI, sir?
So in terms of the first question, what happened in terms of with all the changes which is happening globally to the, the Detroit of India, which is, Tamil Nadu, and which is in and around, Chennai, because we manufacture 12% of all the automobiles in the country, and we are the number one from the automobile manufacturing perspective. And like Sarah said earlier, the tariff going, Tesla coming in, by BYD coming in, how are we going to perform? I think that is something which has to be really seen in the context that, because we have seen the world of, Ambassador and Fiat, and then, Premier, and then Maruti, like what you said. And from there to where we are now, the cars which are coming from Mahindra or a Tata or, Suzuki now, probably they are pretty much world class. Whatever is coming, the cars in terms of design, in terms of performance, they are all, this. The question is whether we will be able to have that cost competitiveness, because I don't think there is any difference now, between what gets offered in terms of the any of the automobile coming out of India, whether we will have the cost competitiveness. And I think the Indian industrialist, all these Tatas and Mahindras, I think they are up for the game. That's what is my take, because they have the capital, they have the technology, they have the expertise, they have the knowledge, and they have right now the very, very strong skill base in India of the manufacturing of the automobile. So I really don't see any threat on that part. So I think we should be feeling good about it. And like if FTA comes in, I think we'll be even in a better shape, because US, all said and done, whatever we talk about Trump, US is the largest trading partner, right? We do $80+ billion worth of export to US. And FTA comes in, I think that number is just going to go up. Coming to the second point about the AI. See, if you look the history, human history, every time any automation comes, I think it will always come with the first set of fear that it's going to take away job, it is going to, make people redundant, and so on and so forth, right? I'll give you the latest example, because we work on software. I run a software company. I used to be a banker one point in time. So when the automation of the banking started, some of the senior people here, they will remember 30 years back, 25 years back, if you had to take a loan, you had to go to the bank, fill 20 forms, give 100 documents, and things like that, right? And when the digitization in the bank started, there was so much resistance. There was so much, the union movement, and people will lose job, and so on and so forth. But look at what that entire digitization has done to the banking industry, right? It, in fact, in 30 years time, the banking industry has grown several, hundred folds in India, right? There's no loss of job. Actually, if you look, there are more banks, better banks, giving better customer service, and there are more. It is one of the largest job provider in the country. So what has changed, right? When I go and speak in some of the institutions, the banking has remained the same. Only the way it get delivered, that delivery mechanism has changed. What used to be a form is now a computer screen. What used to take 15 days is like probably a 15-minute job, right? So the deliverables has changed. What does AI will bring? And I was working with my team yesterday. And we were working, along with the chat GPT, because we have a, demo coming up to a large bank day after tomorrow. And what data probably we would have culled out, over a month's research, we culled out in like 3-4 hours. Now, what does it do? It is actually adding to the whole productivity. Now, because we have been able to cull out the data, what would have, spent time a month in like 6 hours. Imagine what is the capacity that gets freed up of doing different things, right? So we are actually, AI, what it's going to translate is, it's going to translate the entire economy or entire society from, information to knowledge. That's what going to happen. We would have hunted that 1 month getting information and then convert to the knowledge to talk about it. That converting from hunting of information is done by chat GPT. Now, what does it mean for us? The students are sitting there, the entrepreneurs are sitting there. What does it mean for it? I think it will require to think differently. It will require to set our skill set differently. Because it's going to be reality. It's not going to go away. ChatGPT is not going to go away. Grok is not going to go away, right? Any of these models are not going to go away. Whatever DeepSeek is not going to go away, and more are going to come, right? What does it mean is that I think we have to skill ourselves in terms of start using the knowledge and moving away from using the information. The difference will start coming. And the moment we'll start using the knowledge, because we Indians are inherently, we are entrepreneurial. We have that, the something in us that will help in popping up the whole economic activity and everything, in a multiple dimensional way. So that's what is my take. So I don't think there is a need to panic or fear or anything. I think it's a great opportunity. It doesn't, it takes away the entry barrier. People can, use their knowledge, their thought. Younger generation can, actually use all those tools. They can really, bloom with all of this, what's happening on the AI world.
So the message to all the students here is that definitely, yes, it's an opportunity. It's about how you use it, like anything in life, correct? Any tech for that matter. So how are you going to use it and how are you going to come up? So in the same path, now my question is to Satya again, is with respect to the education and the job creation part of it. As far as now, my specific question is with respect to whether this particular budget has enough policies or measures for that matter in creating jobs and especially jobs of the future. And if there is some sort of a lacking, what else needs to be done? Specific probably pointers which you may have in creation of jobs for the future. Over to you, Satya.
Yeah. See, with respect to the job creation, Tamil Nadu would not accept about vocational training, but they will bring about ITI. In this current budget, we know what is the reason they don't accept vocational training. Tamil Nadu government will never promote vocational training, even as part of the education. And they have a clear policy about it. But if you see, they have tried to bring ITS. And these ITS are very important. If you see, most of the people who became engineers were one time, they were actually they completed their polytechnic and then they entered most of the engineering space. Luckily in Tamil Nadu, the education and job creation goes hand in hand. if you see, the aspiration for the government exams in Tamil Nadu is very less compared to Bihar or any other northern states. For a simple reason, here private sector employment is always available. I think from this perspective, creating jobs can only happen if you are able to make Tamil Nadu the best FDI. Only when Tamil Nadu becomes number one in the FDI. Now it's slightly getting reduced in the recent time because of the competitive federalism. Now the Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu goes, Andhra Pradesh Chief Minister goes and says, make in India but make in Andhra Pradesh. I will provide these incentives. And when I just saw a report, Tamil Nadu is contributing more in the GST also. So the only growth, the $1 trillion economy can be achieved in two ways. A, you attract investments in Tamil Nadu, provide highly skilled jobs to the highly skilled students of Tamil Nadu. Everybody is highly skilled. Two, don't even compare Tamil Nadu with any of the northern states. It's a waste of time. Because we have a growth story which is very peculiar to Tamil Nadu. Let's compete with global capitals. That's a fact. Whenever I talk about it, why are you wasting your time competing with it? We are the best, and let's move to the next evolution of agro-tech, agro-processing. There is a huge fishery. There is a connectivity of harbor. So we have so much opportunity to interlink, and the education focusing on ITI, skill-based system has to be brought in Tamil Nadu. You look at, for example, ICT Academy. It's a great institution in Tamil Nadu, which I always show as a role model for the entire country. ICT Academy has integrated some of the top technologies within the engineering colleges. That's a brainchild of Tamil Nadu government. Participates, a public-private partnership. So these are all to be looked into. And social security angle also, I see that Tamil Nadu, we all speak about it, youth getting educated, getting work, job. Think about the retired people and senior citizen. Nothing is done by the national government also. But now I see some sweet spot for the senior citizens where they say, Anbu Cholai. About 10 crores they have brought as a budget allocation to create senior citizen homes and things like that to support them. This is a very, very important. We are talking about demographic dividend. It will one day it will become a liability, for which also we should budget. Not that everybody is going to work throughout our life. So I think the education as such, there is no doubt about Tamil Nadu. Highly skilled people. Even in the sphere of Trump regime, Tamil Nadu people will not have a problem. We will definitely be highly skilled there also. So the question comes to other states in Tamil Nadu. Look at Karnataka. I've been traveling to south and north, almost most of the places for addressing seminars. In Karnataka, northern Karnataka is not even looked at. Telangana is only now coming up. Andhra Pradesh is still freezing its capital to develop. So there are some issues. And tourism, hospitality, medical tourism, all these things are the buzzword of Tamil Nadu. Less investment, already capital is invested in all this sector. It has to be marketed well. Marketed well, wherein marketing agency, the Tamil Nadu has to float a separate marketing agency to go and market everywhere in other countries so that you attract people here to spend in Tamil Nadu. So that GST collection increases and state center also gets a due share. Hope they will not fight for it.
I thank everybody for their, I think, invaluable. We have a very heady mix here. People from economists again, chartered accountants, advocates, so on and so forth, from industry, leading stalwarts are there. I think we have a very heady mix of people who have given the feedback. The concept of this particular session was, what are the global challenges and what is the road ahead for us? The global scenario may look definitely gloomy, but as the saying goes, only where there are dark clouds can there be a silver lining, and that is where the sun can shine through. So I am pretty optimistic about the future. Personally, my personal opinion is concerned, and I see youngsters sitting here. Definitely, I think you have the world ahead of you. So that is what I can definitely add. But India, and especially Tamil Nadu, is it going to achieve the target of the 5 trillion economy or the 1 trillion economy, as was there in the earlier session discussed also? I think a few things we need to keep it in mind. 4 or 5 things probably, which I can summarize in my personal opinion, is that point number 1, the policies should work in tandem. When I say policies of the central government, be it monetary. I think sir is also there, will agree. Monetary policy has to go hand in hand with fiscal policy. When you talk about the budget, that is just one part of the equation. We are talking about fiscal policy, tax policies, but that has to go with monetary policy. When tax cuts were announced, 12 lakh no income tax, fine, putting more money in the hands of the people, demand will come forward. But where is the supply going to come? Are you having the monetary policy which will spur investment and spur productivity also? Now we have seen the RBI is also working in tandem. So that is a good sign. The rates have been cut. So demand and supply probably will work together. Otherwise, I used to say to my students, I used to teach economics, probably not like sir, probably at my early stages of my career, I used to say, if monetary and fiscal policy don't work together, it is like putting the fifth gear at the same time applying the brakes. So therefore, monetary and fiscal policy have to go hand in hand. The central government policies have to go hand in hand. The state government policies also, they have to be oriented. Otherwise, it is like two tires going in two separate directions. And the government policy must also be ideally supported, adequately supported by individual effort. Economics is always macro and micro. The individual effort, as the saying goes, don't ask what your country can do for you, ask what you can do for your country, what you can do for your state. Work hard. The youngsters sitting here, I can say that one. And have an eye on the strong culture that we have, the strong ethos that we have, at the same time, an eye on the future as well. I think if all these check boxes, we can say, are hit, I'm pretty sure that despite this global challenge, whatever is there, the challenge of a $1 trillion economy or a $5 trillion economy is definitely achievable at whatever growth rates. I was saying 18.5, it is correct, sir, absolutely correct. Probably I did that number even without this one, but probably yes, I think. So I was that AI is there to support that as well, definitely there. So I think it is a very much achievable thing, provided that we all work with a single-minded objective and in the same direction. So with that, I'll conclude and thank everybody.
I would like to honor the dignitaries. May I request our senior person, Mr. C.K. Mogan, sir, President of TANSIA, to all the speakers, honor the speakers with the shawl, sir. Thank you, sir. To honor Dr. M. Satya Kumar, sir. Thank you so much. Please give a big round of applause to all the speakers. So I request to honor Dr. Prasanna. I request all the speakers and also C.K. Mogan sir to take a group photo, sir, please.